Hashem Naseh V'Nasliach. We continue with Halakhot from Yilkot Yosef, written by Harav Yitzchak Yosef Shalita. Halakhot Devarim, Abאים, betוך, הסעודה. The laws of food, other edible things that one wants to eat within his sauda, within his meal. Sauda again refers to a meal with bread that a person washed and he made hamutzi and he's having other things with bread. דברים הנאכלים בתוך הסעודה אם הם הדברים הבאים ללפת בהם את הפת כגון בשר ודגים וביצים וגבינה ודיסה ומיני מלוחים וכן דברים הבאים להשביע אפילו אוכלים בלי פת אין צריך לברך עליהם לא לפניהם ולא לאחריהם. Things that come within your sauda and they are eaten with your bread. Usually something that is within your sauda, for example, you have meat, you have fish, you have egg, cheese, or other types of food that they come to make it to fill you up. Okay, even if you have them without the bread, you don't need to make beracha rishona and beracha achrona on that. No beginning beracha, no after beracha. Why? Because the beginning beracha of hamutzi would cover it, and after beracha bikat hamazon would cover those as well. ואפילו אם הובאו לו באמצע הסעודה מבית אחר. Even if that food is brought to you from another house in the middle of your sauda to you, and it was in the beginning you did not have them. ואם הם דברים הבאים שלא מחמת הסעודה, so even if they came from another place to your sauda. Now, ואם הם, and if these things, this food, are not within your sauda, are not usually eaten with bread, right? היינו שאין דרך לקבוע סעודה עליהם ללפת בהם את הפת, which meaning that they are not usually eaten with bread, כגון תאנים, like figs, וענבים, grapes, וכל מיני פירות, and other types of fruits. אם אוכל אותם בלי פת, if a person would eat them without the bread, טעונים ברכה לפניהם, they require ברכה beforehand. שברכה המסויה אינה פוטרותם. Because the שברכת המוציא אינה פוטרותם. Because the hamutzi would not cover them. שאינה מעיקר הסעודה, because they are not main part of the sauda. They are something that is mostly eaten as the dessert, so it's not part of your sauda. אבל אינם טעונים ברכה לאחריהם. However, they do not require after beracha. Right? Like you make hayat, you make hadama on the fruits you have, but you don't say borna for sure after that hayat or hadama. Okay, because the bikat hamazon would suffice, would cover the beracha achrona. she'ena me'ikar הסעודה. אבל אינם טעונים ברכה לאחריהם, שכיוון שביקת המזון פוטרם. So, that's nice and clear. Let's move on. הלכה ב' האוכל מיני מתירה שאין דרך לאוכלים עם הפת. If a person wants to eat all sorts of sweets that are not usually eaten with bread, מברך עליהם ברכה ראשונה. Then there is a ברכה ראשונה on them. אבל אינם מברך ברכה אחרונה. לא ברכה אחרונה. So Birkat Hamazon put Ram. That Birkat Hamazon would cover this. The Beracha Achrona. Ve'im ochel im hapat. And if a person comes to have that minei metika, like sweets, like chocolates, right, with bread, einam mevarech alehem af beracha rishona, then they do not need a beracha rishona. V'chen ha'ochel chavush mevushal. If a person has chavush mevushal, so if a person has like cooked fruits, what you call them? Cooked fruits, like canned cooked fruits. Yeah. Mevarech ala bore peri hayes. Right? If let's say they have all sorts of canned fruits that have been cooked, if they are from fruits of the tree, they have beracha hayes. Even if they are cooked. Because that's how it's brought as a dessert to Sauda. Velo leshem mazon is not the main part of the Sauda. Mevarech ala betechila. So the beracha rishona is required. Halacha gimel. Bechatchila en ra'ui le'echol uga betוך הסעודה. Preferably, it is not proper, it is not a good idea to have cookies, right, in the middle of your Sauda. מאחר ויש ספק ברוב העוגות אם ברכתם בורא מן המזונות או המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Because there is a doubt in beracha with the majority of the cookies, whether the beracha rishona, the beracha on them is mezonot or hamotzi. Verak machmat asafek, only because of the doubt. Na'agu levarech shelo b'shat haseuda mezonot. Because we have safek, when we don't have these cookies in the seuda, we make mezonot on them. ולכן האוכל עוגה בתוך הסעודה אינו מברך עליה. Therefore, if a person has cookies in the middle of his seuda that is started with bread, he would not recite beracha birkat mezonot on that, on those cookies, because of the safek, right? And it would be a beracha levatala. Now our Achenu Ashkenazim do not do make mezonot on cookies in the middle of Sauda. וטוב שיכוון בברכת המוסיל יפתור גם את העוגה. It is good that when a person makes hamutzi, to nullify, to have in mind that this hamutzi is going to cover the mezonot. ואף בעוגה שיש בתוכה אגוזים ודבש וכיוצא בזה, even if there is cookie that there is milk in it, there is egozim, walnuts, all sorts of almond, walnuts and all those things, still we do not make bracha on that. והעיסה נילוש עם סוכר, and if this the dough of the cookie was cooked with sugar, וגם היא יבשה אותה, שבעוגה כזו לכל הדעות יש לברך בורא מן המזונות. Because there is sugar involved and honey, according to everyone, the beracha on that cookie is, what is the beracha? מזונות. וגם בזה לכתחילה יש להניחה לאחר ברכת המזון. So לכתחילה, preferably one should make beracha on that after ברכת המזון. Make mezonot after ברכת המזון. And especially on Shabbat, it's a great idea to do that. Why? Because it's going to help you with your berachot, the berachot that you're supposed to say. ומכל מקום נבדלס עם אוכל עוגה כזו. If a person eats uga, בסוף הסעודה לשם חינוך הסעודה. In the end of the Sauda is having as a dessert לאחר שכבר 7 מאכיל טוב, 7 מאכיל טוב. After he was satisfied from his dinner, from his Sauda, מברך עליה מזונות. Then the bracha mezonot is recited. So if a person already finished his meal and he is having mezonot as dessert, like Ashkenazim, one do say mezonot. If he says mezonot, he can rely on some poskim. אבל בתוך הסעודה, but within סעודה, אינו מברך עליו. Within סעודה, one should not make a mezonot. Another was for Sephardim, one who should not make mezonot on the cookies within the סעודה. Okay, let's move on. הלכה ד' יש הנוהגים בשבת ויום טוב. There are those who have the minhag, have the custom on Shabbat and Yom Tov, לברך על בשר ודגים, to make bracha on meat and fish. בשים ומיני תבשיל קודם נטילת ידיים וברכת המוציא. They make bracha, they have this minhag to make shakol on meat or on fish, right, or on the eggs and other types of food that they're going to have before netilat yadayim and before hamotzi. כדי להשלים 100 ברכות בשבת, in order to complete 100 blessings that one is required to say every day on Shabbat, that we're lacking the blessings, because the Shemona Esrei, the quiet prayer, is short on Shabbat, and we're lacking a lot of brachot. ויש להם על מה שיש מוכו, if they do make such a thing, if they do make bracha like that, even though that they haven't washed, they are going to wash, and they're going to have hamotzi and whole meal, right? They can rely on some opinions that it is okay and it's not bracha levatara. ואין חילוק בזה בין אנשים לנשים. It doesn't make a difference whether they are men or women. ומכל מקום, אחר שהתחיל בסעודה, אין נברך עליהם. Nevertheless, once a person started started his sauda, he's not allowed to make bracha on those fish or meat or egg. The hamotzi would cover it. וכיוון שאוכלים קודם הסעודה, ייזהר שלא יאכלו כזית. Since he's going to have these food before hamotzi, one is to be careful not to eat kazait. Why? Kazait is 26-30 grams. כדי שלא יכנסו בספק ברכות אחרונה, ברכה אחרונה, because if he is having the shiur of ברכה אחרונה and now right away he is going to have hamotzi, this bracha would be a bracha that is unnecessary, right? And he should not say it. ואם אכלו מהם כזית קודם הסעודה, and if a person had kazait 30 grams of this, whatever food he made bracha on before hamotzi, lo yevarechu b'kat achrona, he should not say the after blessing. Safek berachot la'ared, that we hold when you have a doubt whether you should say bracha achrona or not, ספק ברכות לאכל. One needs to be lenient. One needs to be lenient. Next הלכה. Hey. כשחל ט"ו בשבט בשבת. When ט"ו בשבט falls on שבת. יש לאכול מפירות שבעת המינים ושאר דברים שנוהגים לאכול בליל ט"ו בשבט בשבת. והדוז כבר מקפיד. When ט"ו בשבט falls on Shabbat, there are those who eat fruits of the Sheva Minim, the 7 types that Eretz Israel has been blessed with, the Shah Devarim and other things, Shenagim Le'echol Beled Tu Bishvat, that one has the custom to enjoy on Leil Tu Bishvat. רק לאחר סיום הסעודה. It has to be after the Sauda ends. Or אחר שאכל כזית מן הלחם. Or it has to be after a person already had כזית of לחם. שאז ברכת המזון פוטרותם. Because if a person washes and he is having bread as his meal or something that לאחר סיום הסעודה, או אחר שאכל כזית מן הלחם, שאז ברכת המזון פוטרם, ולא יאכלו בין חידוש הסעודה. One should not eat that in the middle of his חידוש, כדי שלא ייכנס לספק ברכה האחרונה. Not to have ספק ברכה האחרונה. So חידוש is before המוציא. כניס כלל. ובשבת ויום טוב מותר לכתחילה להניח הפירות לאחר ברכת המזון. On Shabbat and Yom Tov, it's preferably that a person makes his berachot and fruits after Birkat Hamazon, that this way he should say the beracha Rishona and the beracha Achrona, helping him with the berachot that he needs. ואין נחוש בזה לברכה שאינה צריכה. And we are not afraid of beracha that is not necessary. ובימות החול שאינו חסר ברכות להשלים למניין מהברכות. And on weekdays that a person doesn't have problem completing his 100 ברachot, לכתחילה אין ראוי להניח פירות לאחר ברכת המזון. לכתחילה one should not bring fruits after ברכת המזון. One should bring fruits within the סעודה. אלא אם כן אין אוכל כשיעור. And if he is having, right, before סעודה, should not have the שיעור. ואם אכל כשיעור, יברך עליהם ברכה אחרונה. And if he had, he should say ברכה אחרונה, וכן יעשה בליל ראשון השנה. ושאר שבירך המוציא יאכל כזית מהם, ובירך על התמרים ושאר דברים שנוהגים, ואין הבדל בזה בין אנשים לנשים, שגם האישה צריכה לברך 100 ברכות בהם. On ראש השנה, what we do, we have all the deep honey in the deep apple in the honey and all that within our Sauda, because that's Yom Tov. Yes. הלכה ו' האוכל קישואין או עגבניה ומיני חמוסים בכל הסעודה the person who has zucchini or tomato or all sorts of pickles within the Sauda, Eino mevarech alehem bore perich adama. He do not make adama on that. אבל אם אוכל בסוף הסעודה, לרינוח סעודה, but if a person has zucchini, tomato or pickles, right, in the end of the Sauda, like a dessert, like something that is just to add more of taste to his Sauda, but is already after he had his main course. קישואין ומלפלפלון חי או חזרת קודם ברכת המזון אבל אם אוכל בסוף הסעודה רינוח סעודה קישואין, if a person is having zucchini ומלפלפון or cucumber, but if a person is having cucumber or horseradish, قدم بکت همزون, before بکت همزون, سریخ نبرخ علیهم برخه بوره پی آدما. He is supposed to say بوره پی آدما on horseradish, cucumber, right? This is after he already had his main course and is right before بکت همزون. So he says بوره پی آدما ואפילו אם אכל מהם בתוך הסעודה כשהם מבושלים מברך עליהם כשהוא והוא לפניו חיים. When they are pickled and they are brought within Sauda, they do not require bracha. However, when they are not pickled, horseradish or cucumber, within the Sauda has the bracha בורא פרי האדמה. אלא שאם יש לפניו מין ירק אחר שברכו שווה להם. היות טוב יברך עליו ויפטור אותם. And the best is to make האדמה on another type of vegetable that has the same bracha like האדמה of the cucumber, and this way that's even better. And have the cucumber in mind. Right? אבל אין זה מעכב, it's not a real big deal. והוא הדין, and the same halacha applies, במי שאכל פירות עם לחם. If a person eats fruits with bread, right? ובגמא סעודתו אוכל מלחם החיים בלי לחם, לרנוח סעודה מברך עליהם לפניהם ברכת הנני. Now, right before ברכת המזון, if he is having fruits or vegetables, just to be a רינוח, to like a dessert, then he is not required to say bracha. No, he is required to say bracha rishona. Next halacha. הלכה זין. האוכל פירות מבושלים. A person who eats cooked fruits, komput, right? And they are cooked and there is a lot of sugar added. Komput. בסוף סעודתו, in the end of his sauda, he already finished his main course. לרינוח סעודה, this is like dessert. צריך לברך עליהם ברכת העץ. So one is to say the bracha of the fruit and those. וכן המנהג, and that's the our minhag. Yes. ואם אפשר יברך על פרי אחר ויפטור פירות אלה, if a person could make highest on another fruit, not the cooked fruit, that's better, and have the cooked fruit in mind, אבל אין לברך עליהם ברכה אחרונה. But there is no requirement for ברכה אחרונה. הלכה ח' וכן האוכל pudding. Pudding, you know what is pudding, right? Right. בסוף סעודתו, pudding in the end of his סעודה. מברך ברכה ראשונה על הפירות שבפודינג. One is to say ברכה ראשונה on the fruits שבאמת מברכים על פירות וכן האוכל pudding. So one is to say the ברכה ראשונה on the fruits that is in the pudding. ואם אוכל לחם עם הפודינג בתחילה ובסוף, and if he is eating that pudding with his bread, the beginning ברכה and the end ברכה, אף על פי שבאמצע אוכל קצת פירות. So pudding in the middle of Sauda that has fruits in it, one is to say bracha on it. But if the pudding pudding, but if a person eats pudding with his bread, we should not say bracha beforehand. But if a person in the middle of Sauda, he has just a little bit of pudding in his palm of his hand, and sarich levarech alav shakhu, he does not need to make bracha on that. Halakha tet, בשעת המנהג שהאוכל זיתים בתוך סעודתו. But according to minhag, a person who has zaytun, olives, within his sauda, afilu beli lechem, even without bread, she'eino mevarech alehem boreh peri hayes. One who does not make boreh peri hayes on olives in the middle of sauda. Veyesh המחמירים לברך על פרי אחר, and there are those who are machmir and they make hamutzi on other fruits. They make hayes on another fruit, and they have the olives in mind. כדי לפתור חזית, right? That this way they should hazait, they should with another bracha hayes, they should that should cover the bracha on olives. ויש מחמירים לאכול את הזית הראשון עם הפת. And there are those who are מחמיר, strict. They make sure to have the first zaytun, olive with bread. This way, making sure that there is no bracha said on it. Halakha Yud. לכתחילה אין ראוי לאכול גלידה בתוך הסעודה או בסיומה. A person לכתחילה should not have ice cream within his sauda or in the end of his sauda. Ice cream. You scream? No ice cream. אלא יניחנה לאחר ברכת המזון. But preferably one should have ice cream, you scream, and after his ברכת המזון. ואז יברך Berakat shakol. And then you can say shakol. ואין הבדל בזה בין גלידה ותערובת חלב, whether it is ice cream of the sorbet or other dairy real full-fledged חלבי milk ice cream. לגלידה שאין בה תערובת חלב. ואם בכל זאת אוכל מהגלידה בסוף הסעודה לא יברך. But nevertheless, if a person made a mistake and he had ice cream within his sauda, he should not make shakol on ice cream. No blessing. Halakha Yud Aleph. Right? Mi sheshata yain keshiur bikat achrona. A person who drinks wine or grape juice, right? Enough for beracha acharona, which is revi'it, 3.4 ounces, umiyad yoshev lechol. And immediately after that, he seeks to eat. Eno levarach al hagefen ve'al pei hagefen. This is for, he's in the middle of seudah. He should not make beracha acharona of hagefen ve'al pei hagefen. The birkat Amazon potroto, that the birkat Amazon would cover that beracha achrona of grape juice or wine. And if a person has cookies in the middle of seudah, Eno mevarach beracha birkat adam echia. One should not say beracha achrona on cookies in the middle of seudah. Birkat Amazon portato, that birkat Amazon covers it. Ve'en chiluch ben im ze uga shebirchata mezonot l'chule amo. It doesn't make a difference if this is the chiluch baze ben im ze uga shebirkat Amazon mezonot l'chule amo. Even though that those who hold this mezonot, that is real full-fledged mezonot, או בעוגה שיש בהם מחלוקת עם ברכת המזונות או המוסיר, or whether this is the type of a cookie that there is a ספק if it's the מזונות או המוסיר. לכן אם חילוק בזה בין אם אכל קודם הסעודה ידע שהוא עומד לסעוד, and there is no difference whether this is before the sauda or וידע שהוא עומד לסעוד. בין אם אחר כשיעור, אחר כך מזונותו הזמינו לאכול מיד. Whether he had before enough bread or first he had mezonot. וידע שהוא עומד לסעוד, as long as he knows that he is going to have סעודה, he does not need to make ברכה אחרונה. שבכל זה לא יברך ברכת אחרונה על העוגה. So there is no על המחיה on cookies or fruits or המים, אלא אם כן שהיה חצי שעה והסיח דעתו. Unless if he knows that he is going to have his סעודה after 30 minutes. And there is going to be a sachta, then he should say beracha achrona. Or she'asa lechutz v'kadome, or he should say, if he is going outside another room, then he should say birkat hamazon. No, he should say beracha achrona. וכן האוכלים פירות או ילקוט כשיעור סמוך לסעודה. If a person is having fruits or vegetables near if he has enough for beracha achrona near his סעודה, לא יברך אחריהם ברכה אחרונה קודם הסעודה. He should not make ברכה אחרונה before his סעודה. מכל מקום, בכל זה, nevertheless with all of this, לכתחילה preferably ראוי, is fit, and it's proper שלא לאכול כשהוא סמוך הסעודה. One should not eat for the shiur of that requires the amount that requires beracha achrona. Alright? Because then he's putting himself in a whole situation if he should say beracha achrona or not. So just to avoid that, one should not eat kazai 30 grams of that he should not say beracha achrona. Baruch Adonai leolam. Amen. Amen.